Hello guys, it's Kevin, State and Go Truck Insurance. And today's big question and topic in the trucking industry is Donald Trump and his tariffs crusade, especially when it comes to China. At the moment, I think China is should be paying 145% tariff. Canada and Mexico 25%, and many other nations are facing 10% tariff. So it's a major tectonical shift in for the truckers. That's just, uncertainty is never good for anybody, and especially for truckers these days can be, a bag of mixed signals. What's going to happen? Which where is the next dollar is going to come from. There was an article in Los Angeles Times a couple days ago talking about that, even 1% drop in cargo, incoming to Los Angeles and Long Beach ports could possibly wipe out thousands and thousands of jobs. And those are, dock workers, the ones that loading, unloading, cargo ships and loading trucks, and truckers, the ones that deliver intermodular containers. So, the market is kind of digesting all this information and trying to determine, what's going to happen going forward. So back in March and April, I would say that the ports, Savannah, Houston, Los Angeles ports, they have seen an uptick in incoming shipments, and it's because many companies were trying to stockpile and stock their warehouses in anticipation of Trump's tariff war with China and trying to renegotiate all the trade deals with major U.S. trading partners. So there was an uptick, but coming into May and June, I think those are gonna be tough and very challenging months. Again, especially for those intermodular truckers, because as incoming shipments dry out, and we're already hearing stories about cargo ships just sitting empty in New York and LA harbors, and not many cargo ships leaving China because everybody's expecting that there is going to be some kind of consensus and middle ground. So for the time being, for those truckers, all I can say, just buckle up, and not sure if there's an even easy suggestion or a fix. And many of those truckers, 95% of the whole trucking industry is dominated by small players. They only have 10 or less trucks, and to survive even 2-3 months without stable income is gonna be challenging. You take big players, Walmart, FedEx, Amazon, of course, they can cut costs, they can start laying off people, they can start selling off the equipment. But nevertheless, for a small guys, it's gonna be a challenging next 3 to perhaps 6 months. And some news already coming out. I think today there was an announcement that a framework of a major trade deal with United Kingdom has been reached in principle. And UK has always been our close ally and partner, so that was kind of anticipated. Hopefully, China and Canada will be the next ones where we find a common ground, and then the rest of the nations will come around. And the whole plan, of course, is to deter China from becoming, and already became, a major economical player, and trying to shift many of those critical industries back to manufacturing here in the United States. And specifically, the beef is with, we're talking semiconductors. What if China invades Taiwan, and they make all those chips that go into cell phones, TVs, cars, computers, as well as the rare earth minerals and materials, steel, aluminum manufacturing. Of course, we need more on the US domestic side, as well as auto manufacturing and healthcare, medical device or medicine manufacturing, because as As you all remember, when COVID happened, United States realized that, oh, well, some of these components that go into vaccines and drugs are being manufactured overseas. And when the supply chain crumbled, it kind of left everybody scrambling for to replace those sources. And again, back to China, where a lot of times originates in China. So as those trade deals get renegotiated, I believe in the next 12 to 18 months, we will see a surge in trucking and things will get better, especially for the regional truckers, not so much for intermodal, the ones delivering from ports. Because again, it takes months and years sometimes to shift the production and move the factory and hire the labor from, I know Apple announced that they are going to be manufacturing iPhones in India, which now they're making it in China. I believe that decision's already been made perhaps years ago with anticipation that Trump is becoming president. Because when Apple makes that kind of announcement, I think the wheels are already in motion and they have factories ready and employees ready to start building and manufacturing those iPhones. But for many other companies to bring back and start building those factories and hiring in the United States, it's still going to take years. I know the big issue was, regulatory requirement in US because, in the past two decades, if you want to build something, factory, a plant, if you want to drill or, to find some resources, it was taking years and years of the red tape with, the environmental EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, as well as other agencies just to get approvals to start building something. So with the regulatory regime changing, hopefully we will see more manufacturing in the United States, as well as truck manufacturers like Freightliner or Peterbilt. They're made here locally. They should see an uptick, and hopefully truckers down the road, as long as you can survive next 12, 18, 24 months, things will definitely improve. Because at the moment it is kind of shaky. We deal with clients all over the nation. Some are doing a little bit better, some are not so much. Some are shifting, they were doing intermodular, now they're getting into food delivery, frozen foods, because at the end of the day, Walmart, Costco, everybody still has to eat. So, construction, again, if we see an uptick in more stuff being built in the United States, flatbeds should be doing fine in the next 24, 36 months, to where we'll see some activity in construction sector. We'll keep you posted. That's all I have for today. Stay tuned and we'll see you next time. Bye.